When did you realize that you may have someone special in your program?
First day I saw him practice,
Yeah.
there was just something that was different about him. The way that he moved, the way that he carried himself, his ability to run, change directions. He was a strong physical presence, had great hand-eye coordination, a lot of the same skills that made him a successful lacrosse player. Kind of led us to believe that he was going to be a talented football player. And I think it was the first day of practice during that preseason period that we knew we had something special in Chris.
Well, I'm sure it only got better from there. Is there a highlight from his Monmouth career that stands out to you?
Well, there's a couple. I think first and foremost, the first pass reception that Chris ever had here happened to be a 17-yard touchdown in the opening game of the 2010 season. So he started off with a bang. He scored on his first reception, and it didn't surprise any of us. The second thing that's quite interesting is about after playing 3 games as a receiver for us, we're entering the 4th game of the season, and we had been decimated by injuries in the defensive secondary. And as we looked around our roster and looked around the practice field at who might be the next best guy to plug in a defensive secondary, our eyes automatically fixated on Chris. So when I approached him with the proposition about playing in a defensive secondary, but still playing some offense, he was very open to it. He was very receptive. So I think he practiced 2 days, maybe a Wednesday and a Thursday prior to that next game. And he goes out and obviously is the unknown player on the defense, is the guy playing defense for the first time ever. He was targeted by the opponent. And the first time they went after him, he intercepted a pass. A little bit later on in the first half, he intercepted a second pass and returned it 30 yards. So it became very obvious to all of us that it didn't matter where Chris was playing, that he was going to be extremely productive. And the great thing about it is it didn't matter to Chris, or if it did matter, he didn't let on that it mattered. He told us he'd play wherever we want him to do, and he'd do whatever he could to help the team. And as we went through the rest of that season, he played probably 70 plays a game on defense and maybe 15 to 25 plays on offense. Now, I don't know how smart that makes all of us look for playing this very capable receiver on the defensive side, but it was a great story, and it was great to coach Chris.
Coach, this probably happened more times than you can even remember, but I'm sure it happened. You were leaning over to an assistant and you said, man, one of these days, this kid is going to catch 180 yards worth of passes from Tom Brady, 2 touchdowns, and lead the Patriots to a Super Bowl. I mean, how many times did you say that in practice?
Well, I don't know if I said those exact words or had that exact thought, but it was obvious to all of us that Chris had the capabilities, the physical skills, the talent, and more importantly, the drive and the motivation to make it, or to at least give himself a great chance on the next level. He was different. One day out at practice, he was working or just kind of hanging around, talking with our punter after practice, picked up the ball and started punting it. And it was very obvious that he could have been our punter. He just had so many skills and so many talents.
What was it like watching him in the AFC Championship game?
I've got to be honest, it was exciting. As the game unfolded and he caught his first pass, and that led to his first touchdown, and then caught another pass. And as we got to the half, I had heard that he had 7 receptions already, and it was just great to see it. But the most important thing, I'm very happy for Chris. He's worked extremely hard to get to where he is. He's got a very unique and unusual story. He's one of those guys that you want to root for because he's such a great person, such a hard worker, such a team player.